Never give up. An inspirational story. Life is full of challenges, but those who refuse to give up are the ones who achieve greatness. This is the story of James, a young boy from a small town in the UK, who overcame adversity through hard work, determination, and an unshakable belief in his dreams. James grew up in a modest household in a village surrounded by green fields. His parents were hardworking, but money was always tight. While most of his friends spent their afternoons playing football or hanging out, James spent his time drawing. He was fascinated by colors, shapes, and the beauty of the world around him. His dream was simple. He wanted to become an artist. But there was just one problem: his family didn't understand his passion. "You can't make a living from drawing, James. You need a proper job," his father often said, urging him to help with the chores around the house or look for work in the local factory. His mother, equally practical, shared similar concerns, worried about their financial struggles. But despite the pressure from his family, James could never shake off his love for art. He drew on anything he could. Find old newspapers, scrap pieces of wood, or the backs of receipts. Even though his tools were limited, his passion for art grew stronger each day. His dreams seemed impossible. The village school didn't offer any art classes, and there was no one around who could mentor him. Yet, he carried on. He would take long walks in the countryside, observing the changing sky and the way light touched the earth, drawing inspiration from nature. One afternoon, James' art teacher, Mrs. Taylor, noticed some of his sketches hidden in his notebook. She was amazed by the talent that lay within him. "These are wonderful, James," she said, giving him an encouraging smile. "You have real talent. Don't stop drawing." Her words filled him with hope, and for the first time, he felt that maybe, just maybe, his dream was possible. Months passed, and while James continued to draw in his spare time, he knew that he needed to get out of his small town. If he was ever going to become a successful artist, he had no money for art school, and his parents couldn't afford to send him away. But James was determined. He started to save every penny he could, even if it meant skipping lunch at school and avoiding the things he once loved, like video games and cinema. One day, as he was walking through the town square, he noticed a poster advertising an art exhibition in London. The event promised to showcase the work of young, upcoming artists. A surge of excitement rushed through him. This was his chance, his moment. He didn't know if he had a real shot, but the opportunity was too important to pass up. After weeks of hard work, James had finished his portfolio. It was a collection of his best drawings, each one capturing a piece of the world as he saw it. The hours he had spent perfecting every detail were finally paying off. He knew this exhibition could be his big break. He submitted his work, holding his breath as he awaited a response. Weeks went by. He heard nothing. The self-doubt crept in. Perhaps his work wasn't good enough. Maybe he had misjudged his abilities. But then, just as he was beginning to lose hope, he received a letter in the post. It was from the exhibition organizers. They were impressed by his work and wanted to feature him as one of the artists. The excitement was overwhelming. James was selected, but the feeling of joy was mixed with fear. He had to leave his hometown, and he knew it wouldn't be easy. He had no money to pay for travel or accommodation in London, but James couldn't let this opportunity slip away. His parents, after some hesitation, supported him. They understood how important this was for him, even if they didn't fully understand the art world. Arriving in London, James was overwhelmed by the size and pace of the city. Everything felt so different from his quiet village life, but he was determined to make the most of it. The exhibition was a success, and James' work caught the eye of several art critics. He was offered the chance to study at a prestigious art school in the city. With a scholarship that covered his tuition fees, his dream was finally becoming a reality. The road to success wasn't easy. There were times when James felt like giving up. The city was expensive, and he had to work part-time jobs to support himself while continuing his studies. But he kept going, no matter how hard it got. He faced many rejections from galleries, and some of his paintings didn't sell. But through it all, he never stopped believing in himself. He knew that the journey would be long, but he also knew that every setback was just another step toward success. Years passed, and James' work started to gain recognition. His paintings were displayed in well-known galleries across the UK, and people began to take notice of his unique style. His once doubtful parents, who had thought art was a risky path, were now incredibly proud of their son. James had proved that hard work, determination, and persistence could overcome any obstacle. One day, James returned to his village. He walked through the familiar streets, but this time, he wasn't the young boy with a dream, he was a successful artist. He visited his old school and presented his teacher, Mrs. Taylor, with a painting of the village they both loved. "Thank you for believing in me," he said, his voice full of gratitude. Mrs. Taylor had always encouraged him, and now she could see the results of her faith in him. James' story is proof that no matter how difficult the journey may seem, you should never give up. Success isn't measured by how many times you fail, but by how many times you get back up and keep moving forward. Believe in yourself, work hard, and never let obstacles stop you. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.